As a moderator, Ms. 𝗘𝗅𝗍𝗍 M. IAS, असिस्टेंट कनेक्टर कच्छ भुज, मैं आपसे सादर अनुरोध करूंगा, कृपया इस सेशन को आगे बढ़ाइए. As a moderator, Ms. 𝗘𝗅𝗍𝗍 IAS.
Respected dignitaries, seniors, colleagues, and all the participants gathered here, I am Dr. 𝗘𝗅𝗍𝗍 IAS 2024 batch, currently serving as Assistant Collector in Kutch District. It's an immense pleasure for me to welcome Shri Niranjan Kumar Sudhanshu Sir, IAS 2000 batch of the Maharashtra cadre. Sir is Additional Secretary in Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. He was previously DG Yashoda and Settlement Commissioner in DIR, Professor of Economics in Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration, Labasna, and Center Director of BNYCRS. He served in President Secretariat and was collector in Gadchiroli and held various other roles. In his tenure, he served as Settlement Commissioner and Director of Land Records, and he championed the GIS technology, drone survey, high-resolution satellite imagery to modernize India's land record system. His efforts have been instrumental in moving us towards the conclusive titling, which is very heartbeat of the National Geospatial Knowledge-Based Land Survey Initiative. That is, without further ado, I request Niranjan Sir to please grace the podium and share his invaluable insights with us. Sir, the stage is all yours.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yes, thank you. I heard that not many questions have been asked till now. So I thought, let me not stand on the stage. So I should come down and then start with questions. So I have 45 minutes. And most of you, if you have not already worked in NAKSHA, are going to be working in NAKSHA eventually. So I'm sure either you have, if you have worked, you already have some questions in your mind. If you have not worked, you may have seen maybe some documents relating to, say, property card, city survey, wherever there is city survey. Any question that you have in mind, you want to ask, because 45 minutes is not sufficient. So it will depend on what you want to ask, what you think are the important aspects which you need to know. Then accordingly, I'll try and touch upon those issues. So any question that you want to ask with respect to how to implement it. There are technical aspects which you have learnt, and that will not be dealt with by me, but the administration of it, which all of you are going to be associated with. Anything that you want to ask, or I will ask. खाना बहुत अच्छा हो गया है ना? Okay, so since you are not asking, I will show you some of the questions that people who have done it or they have tried doing it on the field, they have asked. Okay? So I'll start with my last slide. There are people from Maharashtra also. Okay, so these are some of the common questions that people have posed. And the first three, and there are many questions. I have just put some of them which are important. So can anybody read loudly? Can anybody volunteer to read it loudly? Yeah, please.
So the first question, and this is very common question, sir, which has been asked by many places, that we don't have any disputes, then why survey is required? The next one is, will the survey create problems in land transfer, measurements, loans? Will my name in the land record change automatically after survey? Will my property tax or the loan will be affected by the survey? Yes, these are very common questions which field personnel asked on behalf of citizens.
And the second category is actually not by the citizen, it is by the survey team, by the way. Wrongly it has been mentioned as citizen, the green one. It is by the survey team. Okay, please continue.
Yeah. What action should be taken if residents strongly oppose measurement or refuse cooperation? If GPS signals are unavailable during the survey, how should measurement be done? This is very common problem at dense areas we are facing. Who will maintain record after finalization of NAKSHA project? I think most of the states ask this question, sir. Then the last one is little or no response from public. Then how to decide property boundaries, especially when there are open spaces?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Give it to me. So the second slide. Somebody else should now volunteer. Who will volunteer? Excluding the first row. Yeah. So these are the questions relating to ownership. Obviously, this will be asked by the survey team, because not only the survey team, but the inquiry officer rather. Because the inquiry officer is going to be the person who is going to decide what is going to come on the property card in various data fields. That the most important of it is ownership column. Yeah, please.
Hello. The questions continued with the survey team was that the first one, if there are the large scale encroachment on the government, public or the common land, should every plot be measured and the records of the right be prepared or not?
So it's a common question. If there is an encroachment, what is my role as inquiry officer or as the survey team? What do I do? Yes.
It is, sir, from my side that additional enrichment, there is one question. So I am from that NAKSHA Gujarat, that records of right what we people have at this moment as an existing city service system. So ultimately our question here is that record of right be prepared for the existing system as a part of promulgation or not.
Yeah, I will try and answer this question.
Sir.
So please.
Second one, if a sell transaction is done only on the stamp paper, which is not registered, how should it be handled?
Yeah, next please.
If the record of right show the one person's name, but the another person is in possession with a sell deed, what should be done? Yes. And the 10th one is if there is a court case about the ownership but not about the boundaries, can a map be finalized or not?
Yeah, so that is wrongly marked as number 10, but please continue.
Yeah. The next one is, if the record of rights shows the name of the original owner but the third person is in actual possession and holds a sell deed from the another party, what action should be taken?
Yes.
If according to the cooperative society records, ownership is in one person name but the actual possession is with another who has sell deed, and the society objects, and how should ownership be recorded? Yeah. The next one is if building has the multiple floors and each flat or the floor has a separate owner, how should individual property records, which is the property sheets, be prepared? The last one is that should ownership be declared on the basis of the adverse possession, which is the long-term occupation with the title, or if it is yes, then what is the process for that one?
Thank you. So can anyone try and answer the last question? If the claim is on the basis of adverse possession, what should our team, and I assume that you are going to supervise those teams. Very correct, very correct. So you are the one who is going to read the next slide.
If a private plot is encroached with permanent construction, how should the survey be conducted?
Yeah.
If there is occupation but no valid proof such as property tax record, what action should be taken? How to determine and declare shared or easement rights, right of way, water use, stairs or common spaces when there are no written documents? How to decide minimum and maximum road with for existing roads. That is, somewhere width is big and somewhere it is less, especially when not linear. Missing or wrongly shown easement rights, roads or shared access not recorded properly. How should these be corrected? If the local body has granted permission for construction on land that lies within the boundary of a river, nalla, stream or road, how should the map and property inquiry be handled and how should ownership be determined?
Thank you. So try and answer some of the questions. Can anybody attempt the last question? Very clear actually. The last question is, if there is a building standing somewhere which you think is on a land which is not, which is illegally constructed rather, or illegally approved, what should you do? As a survey team or as an inquiry officer, what will be your instruction to the ground team? Any response? So the wrong has been done by a different authority. So it's a planning authority or the local body? Okay. So what will you be doing? You have gone there to do the survey, record the boundary, inquire about the ownership and prepare a register, and on the basis of that register you are going to prepare a property card. So what will be the response of your team?
Sir, excuse me. As per Supreme Court judgment, we should not be encouraging any person over the river or nala, stream right, because there is Supreme Court judgment is there on water bodies, so no one cannot encroach any land. Though that fellow is encroaching that land, he has no right to construct anything.
So what will you do?
Then is that land has to be recorded as government land.
No, so you feel that it's a water body? Okay. So you will demarcate the nala and you will say that it's a water body. So for doing that, what will you use as information or as a background? Because it's not very easy to determine unless you have all the records from maybe irrigation department, Yes.
Sir, already there is a property register in our department.
Okay. Yeah, you can take this.
Sorry. Namaste ji. As per our government records, already there is record in our office, a corporation, collectorate, in a revenue department, in a department. When have to verify the records, as for records, the land is found either a river, classification as river land, or nala, any water bodies, such sort of land cannot be registered in favor of other persons,
right.
other than the government.
Yeah, right. So the broader question is, you have a power as survey officer given by the corresponding land revenue code of that particular state. You have that power, and using that power only you are doing the survey, and you are going to decide on the ownership related details, right? And there is another body. In this case, it is a local body. There may be other bodies also. Gram Panchayat, village Panchayat, they are also empowered to do certain things. Yeah. So the broader question is that your power or your authority comes in conflict with some other authority. Then what do? This is just an example, but there could be other cases also, right? What about fourth one? How to decide minimum or maximum road width for existing roads? That is, somewhere width is big or narrow. It is somewhere it is narrow, somewhere it is broad. Because on the ground the width will not be uniform when you are doing survey. What is going to be your response as a survey team? Because this is the case generally, especially in areas which were earlier villages, which have been included as part of the city area now. So the public utilities or land belonging to public authorities, they will never have a clear-cut boundary.
So in that case, just you have to verify our records.
Verify from which record?
Yes, sir. You have to go for our records.
Our means which?
Government record. Our means, not for individually. That's the government record.
So, okay. So when you say government, which means which part of the government? Because you are part of the survey team. Remember, you are part of the survey team. Which agency will have this record? Okay. 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 Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. So, yeah, you're right. You're right. So, even if the road has different width at different location, as you see on the ground, what you have to mark has to be based on? Yeah, has to be based on records which are available with respective agencies. In this case, the respective agency, in some cases it will be urban local body, in some cases there may be a planning authority, separate from urban local body, right? So, which means the point here is that it involves a lot of coordination with other agencies. When the survey was initially done, whatever we have today as a record of right in a form of map or in a form of ROR, it was created long time back by Britishers, right? At that point of time, there was hardly any coordination needed, probably. Maybe 150 years back, this kind of coordination was not needed because there was a lot of authority and there was absence of legacy records and records with other departments. Now, whatever you are doing, or whatever survey you are doing over a piece of record which is already existing. And there are multiplicity of agencies. So the point is that you have to have a lot of coordination with other agency, in this case, urban local bodies. The last slide. Anybody will volunteer? No? Backbenchers, koi kar sakte hain? Backbenchers is not a bad term, by the way. Huh? Backbenchers, you have a good, comfortable place to sleep. So, you can sleep, no problem. But what you cannot do is snore. Don't snore. Huh? You can sleep, don't snore. Because it will wake your neighbor. So, आप बिल्कुल खराटे मारिए, दूसरों को उठाइए नहीं. Anybody who wants to volunteer? Yeah, please. See why I'm saying all these things, because these are very important questions coming from the ground. Yeah.
The first question is, if the area on site does not match the area in property tax or ROR records, what should be done? So
property tax document is going to be the basis in most of the cases. Here, I think states from southern India, Maharashtra, Gujarat, people from these states are here. In these states, we have a very good record maintained as a property tax record by most of the urban local bodies. So this is going to be the basis on which you are going to be working. But there will always be difference between what is written there in the property tax record and what you find on the ground.
Second question is, if there is a difference between the approved layout area and the actual ground area, how should it be handled? Third, if the registered document area and actual possession area differ, what should be done? Fourth, if there is a discrepancy between a record area of ULB's map and measured area, even when possession is constant, what action should be taken? Fifth one, if there is a variation between drone survey and total station survey, which data should be given priority? Last one, how to handle area mismatch between old legacy record and present possession area, which occurs due to use of modern survey technology?
This is one of the most important question actually, because as I said, we are working on a legacy data. So there will always be a difference between what the legacy data says, especially the map, the boundaries, and what you see on the ground now. And you have to, what you are going to prepare is not only the textual ROR. See, Maharashtra, Gujarat and some of the other states have been doing city survey for a long time. You can sit down. So, we have been doing city survey. Gujarat has been doing city survey for a long time, I guess, maybe 60 years now. Maharashtra has been doing it for more than 60 years. And so we have been doing this manually. And now we are going to do it using GIS technology, what is the most important difference you think is there between what we used to do as resurvey? City survey is actually a resurvey. Yes or no? It's a resurvey of a limited area. What is the most important difference for say Maharashtra, Gujarat and Tamil Nadu, for example? We were doing it already. Now we are going to do it using drone. What is the most important difference that is going to make this very challenging? And that is why we should learn from experiences from Gujarat, Maharashtra and other states. So earlier when we created those paper maps, are we saying that they were not accurate?
No. But there is a difference between the previous. Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please.
There is a previous, accuracy is there, but recordedly the people previous record and the accuracy, 70% accuracy is not found, sir. But there is a act is also given 5 cents, 5 at the time of measuring. You are giving 5 inches of land difference. But now itself, if you survey as for a drone, it will not be giving any scope for even inch of land. So why now the survey is excellent.
Very good, very good. Any other point?
Sir.
Possession might have changed. That was true earlier also. Even if you do it manually, possession would have changed. But you do it manually, you prepare a map on the paper. So that was earlier we used to do. But now we are doing is to prepare a map. Textual record is fine, same. But the map we are preparing is GIS based, which has latitude and longitude. It is geo-referenced. So the accuracy that we are getting in GIS based map is how much? How much is the accuracy that we are getting?
5.
Oh, so which means it is very less or very high actually. Accuracy is very high compared to our earlier system. What does it change in terms of the job of a surveyor? What does it change? And that we have to understand very well. Suppose you find a discrepancy based on your old record, paper-based record, and the ground situation. You find a discrepancy, right? What is it that you do now on the basis of paper record? What do you do if there is a discrepancy found? Little bit of discrepancy, maybe it is within the tolerable range, it may not be within the tolerable range. But what do you do? What is the solution that you find of the discrepancies? Yes.
Sir, suppose if we have that NAKSHA ORI image, and let's say for example in Gujarat, any pocket of our city survey having its own width, suppose measurement length, we are superimposing that for the sake of determining that what actually problem is. So first we will look into the technical problem. Suppose there is a issue of shrinkage, scaling and etc. If that is the issue, then we will collaborate that particular record earlier with an NAKSHA measurement. Suppose if that issue is not there, if it is seen that there is an augmentation in the physical position, then that has to be taken a call upon that what percentage is going to be.
Any other thought on this? You can guess. You need not be a very learned person in GIS or in surveying. You can just guess. So what is going to change after NAKSHA is you cannot solve the problem of one parcel at a time. If I go to measure or remeasure a parcel, and if I find that there is some discrepancy, I will try and do it at my level, meaning I'm saying the survey team or surveyor. It happens even today. You know, locally you adjust some this boundary or that boundary and then try to bring it within the acceptable range and you solve the problem, right? But when it is GIS based, can you do that? One point you change, because all the village map, as you may have seen, one point you change on the village map, any point, any vertex, it affects everything. It affects at least the points that are connected to those vertices. And if you change multiple vertices, then all the other polygons also change automatically. You are not going to stop it. Even if you want to solve one problem of one particular parcel and you want to change few vertices, you cannot do it at your level. It has to be done for every parcel which is connected to those vertices. Am I right? And which means that it almost becomes fixed and finalized. It is very difficult to change something which you are now going to create. It has to be changed only by following a process, which is going to be there as part of the NAKSHA also. So that's why the question was that whatever is being created here, who is going to maintain it, how it is going to change. That is where states will have to learn from the experiences of Gujarat, Maharashtra and other states, because we have a process of not only building it, but also constantly changing it. Suppose our 𝗲𝗍𝗃𝗲 has created this map and there is an objection. I'll show you. There is an objection. What is the process? The process itself has to be digital and also GIS based. Otherwise, it cannot be done on a manual platform. So the entire system has to be totally digitalized, GIS based. So that is going to be the change. I hope you understand that, and it's going to be a very, very substantial change for the entire survey setup, entire land records. Okay. So let me come back to the beginning. What has happened in Maharashtra, and you are free to ask a question, interrupt me, and I'll try and answer those questions because PPT is very big. So this is the typical process of city survey in Maharashtra, which has, as I discussed, has been which has existed for more than 60-70 years. So extension of the city happens. There is a notification that happens. Who notifies extension of city? Which department notifies the extension of city? Urban development. But how the survey or city survey or these NAKSHA, this is done by which department? Revenue department. So how will revenue department come to know? Because they are using the power under, in our case it is MLRC. How will the survey department come to know that city has extended? Or even if they come to know through notification that has come out of urban development, how will I initiate? Because, yeah.
Department has been maintained some records. Excellent, sir. As per our records, revenue department has to be maintained master records in the records, sir. It's maintained by the surveyor, sir. It is the control of a Tahsildar or maybe in Tahsildar level Tahsildar or RDO level, revenue division, magistrate revenue division. Otherwise, if you have any differences, you have to go for a collector office. Then the entire record has maintained by the collector office. So the revenue department overall power to maintain all records.
Yeah, you're right. We have the powers, but how does that power get activated? That is my question. Because your notification by the urban development department will not say that now I direct or we direct, the government directs revenue department to survey or resurvey or city survey this area and create a new record which is going to be a property card record. Does it say? No, it doesn't say. So how will you get triggered? You meaning the revenue department get triggered and start this process. So that is very important. So in Maharashtra, what happens in other states also, these two things generally happen simultaneously. So these are linked to each other. So the extension of city happens through the notification of the urban development department, and at the same time, under the MLRC, the notification for the survey of city survey notification happens through the revenue department, and then the survey of property happens. Now we are going to do it using drone. Then the inquiry of ownership, very important, and draft promulgation of the result of the NAKSHA based GIS based inquiry, which we will see. And after handling all the disputes that will come through this promulgation, whatever is being finalized, that becomes the new record. Because you have a legacy record in the form of Satbara in case of Maharashtra, village map, TIPANs, which are existing already. On the top of it, you are creating a separate map, separate ROR based on the current situation, which is being called property card. Now, when the final promulgation happens, all the earlier records, the village maps, the Tippans, earlier were in existence, they ceased to exist, ceased to have legal force. That is very important to understand. Why? Because once you have promulgated something, people may have objections based on past record also. And this is the case where the consolidation, wherever in other states consolidation has happened and resurvey has happened, this forms a large number of disputes. What is a dispute? Suppose I survey this area, make a map, make the ROR and promulgate it finally. Somebody comes later on and says that in my past record, which means village record, we had certain different, say, boundaries. So please restore my boundaries based on a past record. Is it going to be that case now?
Land for belong to one person, sir. As per judgment, you must have possessed the land in your control, which has to be claimed. In the same time, you must have the same record. Here is the same record, and enjoyment is more important for the getting the right over the land, sir, which is claimed by you.
Yeah, so that is the most ideal case. What he is saying is this, that if I am making a record now, after new inquiry and NAKSHA, if it is matching with the past record, then there is no dispute actually. There is no dispute. But you will realize, those who have done this survey, or they are into it, they will realize that in most of the cases, this will not be the case. In most of the cases, even if the difference is very small, maybe 3%, 4%, maybe 5%, but in most of the cases, these things will never match. Why? Because legacy records are not current records. At least in terms of boundary, maybe things will match in terms of the textual area, but in terms of boundary, it will never match. So, can you go back before the promulgation, final promulgation, and ask a question that my boundary as per last record was different, now that you have drawn is different, and you have promulgated, finalized, etc., etc. Now, please draw my boundary or show me my boundary as per my last record. Yes, you wanted to so? You want to say? Okay. So, is it true that we can go back and ask the same question? Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
No. We are going to discuss only. So, please.
Kindly, sir. But in AP, just we are going on survey, sir, survey land records, sir. In AP, Andhra Pradesh. But when you have to go for a survey, drone survey, the position has having a documentary for 1 acre, say for example, 1 acre, sir. At the time of survey, if that fellow has not having 1 acre, maybe if you have his position only 90 cents or 95 cents, sir, you have to fix up the 95 cents. Though that fellow has 1 acre for land as for old records, maybe. But which land has to be positioned in his position, you have to consider, sir. As for
yeah, so that is one point of view.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do we all agree? What he is saying, you have understood? What he has said is, when I am going to do this survey now, I find that the ROR, say in case of Maharashtra, the Sadwara says that this person should have, say, 1 acre of area. Now, when you go and see his possession, it is, say, 0.75 acres. What he is saying is, whatever the possession is, you have to finalize that area, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do all of us agree? Why
no,
not?
But here
Why
is
not?
some disputes are also arising, sir. But actually,
that is the crux of this issue.
Yes, sir.
Because
Yes, sir.
in most of the cases, there is going to be difference.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, in terms of area, if there is a difference, as I gave an example, 1 is to 0.75, what will you do? And this is only textual area, by the way. I'm not even talking about the boundary. Boundary may be different. Even with same area, boundary may be different. I have same 1 acre earlier, and now even also you are showing me 1 acre, but that boundary is different from what I am occupying. That also could be one case. But this case which you spoke about, if you don't accept this, if you say that you will be getting your map prepared as per the current possession only and only, then you are going to face a lot of disputes.
Yes.
Because in most cases, they will be different. So what will be your response? That is a very important question, and there is no answer to it actually. What is the answer? What is the practical answer? Batao? whichever is lesser. Oh, that is the answer given by a planning authority. When you go for building plan approval, isn't it? Am I right? When you go for building plan approval, you have on your record, so 1 acre, and then you get the plot measured again, and that shows 0.75 acre or whatever, some different figure. What is the figure as considered by the planning authority for the purpose of your sanction of a building plan? Not only whichever is less. No. Not only whichever is less, but there's something else. Because you have a boundary also now. No. Whatever is the intersection between your record and the current position, whichever is intersecting, which means, I cannot draw here, which means the area which is also in your possession as well as in your record. Yes, the intersection. So that is the way our urban local bodies work. And why do they do like this? What is the logic? Yes, that is what the aim is. But what is the logic? Why is this logic acceptable to every ULB?
Because every plan has some certain dimension which is acceptable in that particular type of category. That's why. Oh,
no. But the possession is different than the record.
If the actual land, like in Madhya Pradesh, town and county planning give the approval, we designed the system for them. And the actual possession of the land, and yes, you are right, sir, that whatever is in the record and actual possession, whichever is the final match out of it.
Match. Yes.
If it is more
what is the logic? My question is, what is the logic?
Logic is that, sir, every size of the land, the usability, they call it premises.
Oh, that is
that
based
is changing.
on, but I can claim different possession. See, I can claim a different possession, but I may not be entitled to that possession. So I am claiming a different possession. My entitlement is slightly different. Why? What I am giving you as ULB is whatever is common between these two. Yes. Pardon? Okay. Yes, this is perfectly correct answer. उनके लिए ताली बजाइए भाई. ताली मैंने इसलिए बजवाया कि बहुत लोग सो रहे हैं पीछे इसलिए. So the logic is, when I am giving you permission, what is going to happen? You are going to invest lakhs and lakhs of rupees. You are going to invest a large amount of money, and you are going to build a permanent structure. Tomorrow, if there is any dispute, it is very difficult not only for the urban local body but also for that particular owner. I cannot demolish the entire structure. So the totally undisputed area, that intersection is totally undisputed, meaning it is in your possession and it is also as per your record. Whatever is outside these two, even in your possession but not as per record, or as per record not in your possession, that is a potential for dispute. Right? So this is these are the stages for city survey. But what is different here in NAKSHA is slightly different, because there is a lot of preparation to be done before we start NAKSHA survey, and which is very important, because preparation for the survey is very important, as we'll see. And I have dealt with the subject inquiry. This is the setup that we have in Maharashtra, which handles city survey. And you can see here, there is a specific office of city survey at taluka level also, right up to state. So a state level also has a city survey wing, and which continues up to taluka level. So that helps, because this has been a activity which we have been doing for a long time. There is a permanent setup. It will be useful to have this setup, similar setup, not this setup, but similar setup. And these are the 10 ULBs that we have taken up. Now, as I said, every action of an inquiry officer, who is the most important officer in case of NAKSHA, has to be backed by corresponding acts and rules. So, with respect to Maharashtra, these are the rules. And these are the rules which permit and empowers the inquiry officer or the survey team to actually do the inquiry, prepare the maps and the ROR. I am not going to go into the details, but you have all the powers. SOP, this is very desirable because whatever we think Act says and rules say, ultimately the person on the ground is going to work based on the SOP that you have framed. If you don't have SOP, it's going to be a huge confusion at the ground level. So we have developed our SOP. DLR has also come up with an SOP, and that is also good, but it has to be adjusted and it has to be correlated to the state-related practices and laws. And then we have all these 3 committees. In case of Maharashtra, the ground truthing has been outsourced to private agency. I am sure other states also are doing like that. But if it is not, it's going to be very difficult for our team to actually do the entire ground truthing, handling all the GIS system, online system. It's going to be difficult. It's not impossible, but it's going to take a lot of training, and that is going to take a lot of time. These are the trainings that we have conducted. Some of the pictures, IEC material. These are all familiar. I'm not going to go into the details. I'm sure you have seen this. This is a typical ORI which you get. And this is a current situation. Out of this 10 ULBs, one ULB which is in 𝗬𝗏𝗏 𝗀𝗏𝗏, Kannada, we have completed the inquiry. Maybe next week there are people from Maharashtra. So in case of Kannada, probably next week we are going to do the promulgation. And after that promulgation, the real part of deciding on all the disputes will start. It will help if the entire life cycle of this NAKSHA project is handled through an online system. Maharashtra has this online system in the form of CSCS, which starts with uploading all related data which we gather for preparing for NAKSHA, which means the property tax register, the ROR, the maps, the layouts, maybe DP also in some cases. So all these records need to be digitized and it has to be uploaded on CSCS, and then subsequent process of ground truthing, calling for objections, promulgation, and then final decision making. Everything is done in an integrated system which is there in Maharashtra, and that will help. Madhya Pradesh has a very good system, and this system also is used for promulgation and calling for objections. So when you go to this system, you will see the map also which has been prepared, the draft map that has been prepared, the inquiry that has been done, the register which has been prepared, and you have an option to identify yourself and put your objection, and that objection will be submitted online. You will be able to see the status, and then the hearing will be scheduled, and you will be called, decision will be taken online, and it will be effected on the record. So the point is that if you have an online system, it will be easier, and if you don't have one, please do try to make one. Okay. So these are the steps, and I'll not go into the details because these are all common steps, but preparation is very important. And when we say preparation, we mean collection of all the data in digital form. And the textual data is already there in digital form in most of the states. What is not there in digital form is the cadastral data or the maps, which are geo-reference. And that is going to take a lot of time of the survey department. the digitization of legacy data in the form of map and its georeferencing is very important. If you see the slide here, you see this is the blue line shows the actual possession. Actually, it is not there. And at the bottom, you will see these are the survey boundaries as per the last data, which means as per the legacy data, georeferenced. How accurately you georeference the legacy data, that will impinge on the difference that you will find based on what is the ground situation and the legacy data. But ultimately, the question will come, in most of the cases, you will have a difference between what the boundary is shown in the legacy data, which is georeferenced here, and what is there on the ground. Ultimately, you will have the difference. I'll show you some of the slides, maybe that will be better. This is an example where things actually have matched properly. So what you have done? You have digitized the layout which has been approved by ULB. You have georeferenced it, put it on the GIS system. You have gone on the ground, taken the measurement using rovers and plotted it again on the GIS, and you have matched. So this is what you have done. Now, this is an example where things have broadly matched. You see here, there is a difference, but the difference is not very, very significant, at least not to the eye. In this case also, it is broadly matching. Again, the same, broadly matching. So, which means these structures are already existing based on the layout that has been approved by the ULBs. And now you are going there, creating a new map, GIS map, and you are trying to overlay it. These are broadly matching. Now, take this case. Okay. So, this case, what it shows is the green one is a legacy record, survey map. If you can recall, these are survey numbers 140, 141, 142, 143. Right? And when you go on the ground and the layout which is approved and digitized and georeferenced, that is given in red line. Okay? So now when you actually see the georeferenced layout which is approved by the ULB, and when you match it, try and match it with the legacy record which is in the form of a survey number, you see this difference. So 142, the green line and the red line is as per the approved layout and as per the ground situation. Now what do you do? Okay, time? Okay, this is the last slide. What do you do? You answer and then I'll leave. Anybody who is experienced in survey should answer this. आप क्या करेंगे? आपके पास ये आपने legacy data upload किया, which is the survey data, which is in green, and you have the current data, which is the layout approved, digitized and georeferenced, and it is also reflecting the situation on the ground. What do you do? Logically, what you should do? बताइए, महाराष्ट्र बताना चाहिए ना? What? No, this is the situation. What do you do now? So which map you will take as authentic? Whether the red one you will take as authentic or the green one? Red one? Why? How many for red and how many for green? And this will answer his question, which he initially asked. Which will you prefer? Red one or the green one? अरे ग्रीन वन वाले कौन कौन है बताइए जरा. गुड नंबर. रेड वाले. So we'll vote and we'll do whatever is. Yes. बताइए. Which one? Red one. So the question you should ask is, why why I should accept either red or green, right? So if I am going to accept green, legacy data, so green is legacy data, what is the question that I should ask? Whether it is correct or not. This is the first question. And whether it is correct or not, what is the answer? What is the answer whether it is correct or not? It may not be very straightforward, by the way. But the next question will be, I don't know whether it is correct or not. But with respect to red, what will be the answer? I know. So that is a very big difference, right? I know what is there, and here I don't know what is there. Why do I not know? Why don't I know that the green map is correct or not? We have surveyed it long back, but that doesn't make it incorrect. What he had said in the beginning, how it is coming to this place? It was initially drawn on the paper, then it is scanned, then it is digitized, then it is georeference. There are at least 3-4 stages. And I don't know whether these 3 stages have been done efficiently, correctly, accurately or not. If I don't know that, I cannot trust this. In any case, absolutely the last slide. See, you are using the power of survey as given in your land revenue code. And what does the survey give you? The power, what is the power? This is from Maharashtra, but I am sure every state has the same power. And it is encapsulated in only 2 words. What is the power that you are going to exercise? You are only going to do formal inquiry. What is the guidance that is given to you? Of all the questions that we saw in the beginning, there is no guideline to answer those questions. The only guideline is that you have to do a inquiry and decide. So which means what? You have been given, as an inquiry officer, you have been given all the powers to decide. Now, whether to prefer a legacy data or the current data, I will go with the current data, because remember how the survey was done for the first time. Whatever was under possession was given, isn't it? Maybe there may be 5 to 10% of the changes that may have been done, but the power of survey officer or the inquiry officer was exercised, and whatever was decided by him based on the possession, factum of possession, it was brought into the record. And that is what we are now trying to revise. So the same power that the person who did the survey long time back, 150 years back, is being used by us again. Same, there is no change. So what he or she did that time, we can do. I am not saying that every time you see a difference, you go by the latest data. No, not at all. Because as I pointed out in the beginning, that there may be illegal orders also. There may be illegally approved layouts also. So those things will have to be taken into account. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Now request Dharini M, IAS, to the fellow state. Sir, please stay on the dais, sir. Thank you, sir. Now request as a moderator, Ms. 𝗃𝗍𝗄𝗃, IAS, Assistant Collector, Rajkot.
Respected seniors, colleagues, and dignitaries, good afternoon to all. It is my privilege to introduce Shri Lalit Jain Sir, a 2011 batch officer of Indian Administrative Service from Himachal Pradesh cadre. Sir is currently on central deputation, serving as Director, Census Operations in the Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India. Sir has held a wide range of key assignments at district, state and central level with significant experience in rural development, environment and forest, finance, urban governance and public administration. His work has received international recognition as well as national recognition through awards like Scotch Awards, 𝗬𝗏𝗃𝗃 and 𝗑𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃 Panchayat Sashaktikarana Puraskar of Government of India and Civil Services Award of Government of Himachal Pradesh. Sir holds a PhD in law and has published research on land reforms, environmental governance and climate change. Thank you, sir, for joining us today. Sir will be joining us online. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Roshali. I hope I am audible. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, you are.
Thank you. And thank you so much, 𝗀𝗃𝗍𝗵𝗃, sir. It was a very comprehensive and wonderful presentation. I got a chance to listen to you being a backbencher of backbenchers. So I was last one in the line listening to you. And I think a lot of things which I want to present here have already been somehow touched by Sudhanshu sir. I wanted to be there and enjoy the warmth of Ahmedabad because it's very cold in North India. But I realized that many of you are wearing jackets and sweaters. So perhaps it is as cold in Ahmedabad as it is here. And it is always a pleasure to interact with the fellow colleagues at the academy also and outside also, where a number of training programs takes place. Friends, I don't claim any specialization in this area. My knowledge is as good as you have. And I think we are here to just share our experiences about the implementation of the various programs. So here is my take on the NAKSHA scheme, that is National Geospatial Knowledge-Based Land Survey of the Urban Habitations. Well, we all know that India has been rapidly urbanizing, and one of the problems of urbanization are the land records. And I think it is an idea whose time had come, and it has already come, that we should have a proper framework for the land records, because if we are to grow, we are to avoid disputes, we should have such a system. We had already tried it in the rural areas and successfully tried it. I was also part of the scheme while being Director Land Records of Himachal Pradesh. So going forward, as we all know, it is to create an updated land records using aerial and field surveys, launched in 152 urban local bodies. Current coverage has been extended to 157, fully funded by Government of India, Department of Land Resources, and along with Survey of India, MP State Electronic Development Corporation, NIC, NICSI, along with state governments, they are doing this scheme. And there cannot be a better example of a cooperative federalism than this scheme and the administrative and the legal framework which it envisages. We already know about the DIL RMP program. Many of us as collectors, as deputy collectors, as SDM would have done with it. So that was to bridge the gap of the urban and rural areas. Hence this scheme came. I'll just go through the various slides quickly because since morning you would have been bombarded with all this information. So I'll just try and restrict myself to the administrative and legal framework. But anyways, this presentation is there and I've made it so that things are repeated, and whenever you get a chance, you just want to scan through it on your cell phones. So the things keep on repeating and they become committed to your memory. Stakeholders and their roles and responsibilities. So whenever we talk about an administrative and legal framework, it's very important we realize the stakeholders of this scheme. Their roles and responsibilities should be very clear. There are standard operating procedures which have been released by the Department of Land Resources, Ministry of Rural Development. And these standard operating procedures have been adopted by all the state governments who are implemented and all the urban local bodies who are implementing this scheme. At the national level, there's Department of Land Resources, which is hosting today's program, whose role will be policy formulation, funding, and national coordination of this scheme, and also establishment of a national program management unit, a national IEC, and a training framework. of which we are a part today. The Survey of India, of course, it is a technical partner of aerial survey. They have been surveying this country, every bit of this country for ages and years now, and nobody can do it better than them. That is also to provide the technical guidance to the states and UTs. So 2 or 3 states in a grouping, they have their regional offices also. I'm stationed in Chandigarh, so Chandigarh Survey of India office takes care of Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, UT of Chandigarh, UT of Jammu, Kashmir, Ladakh. State and UT governments, that is the ownership of the field survey, ground truthing, validation, final publication of urban and peri-urban land records, establishment of the state PMU, and IEC at the local level. We'll just also see a few samples of the state PMU, although there is a lot of flexibility, so that as per the situation of the state government may form its own PMU. But yes, we have very good example, one from the hill areas and one from a highly urban area, that is Chandigarh. Then there is NIC and NICSI for various paraphernalia related to IT. The Madhya Pradesh State Electronics Development Corporation, which has developed the end-to-end Web-GIS platform and applications. This is just another chart which depicts the stakeholders, their roles and responsibilities. It's very detailed. If I start going through it, will take a lot of time. I'm sure that since morning, you have been reading all this, you have been discussing about all these things. So you can just, I think, just see it and maybe read it afterwards so that you get an idea, because this is a very detailed chart which depicts roles and responsibilities. So there is a national level DOLR, there is a national PMU, states and UTs have their own nodal officers and state PMU, evaluation, capacity building and training, in which the State Training Institute have an important role to play. The map part, map 1, 2 and 3, that is taken care by the Survey of India, third party agencies, the Electronic Development Corporation, NICSI. State level field survey, integration of recorder of rights and other records, publishing, creating, modernizing land records. Then finally the landowner, our client, the most important part in this, that is the claims and grievance redressal, objections from his side, and then finally the urban property card. Map 1, Map 2 and Map 3, as it is technically called in this scheme. This chart very clearly depicts what the structure of the entire scheme is going to be. I think if we keep in mind this chart, this is sufficient for us as far as theory goes. A bit detailed mapping of the institutional framework for NAKSHA. We see the part of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development also. Almost the same thing, just making it more clear. So already we have gone through it, the role of the Department of Land Resources, the state governments in NAKSHA, nodal ministry, that is policy direction, financial support, national program management, and develop national standards, standard operating procedures, training frameworks, IEC strategies. Scalability and national rollout of readiness. So, urban local body field survey team constitution in NAKSHA. The constitution of the ULB field survey team should be there of the skilled person for accurate data collection, validation and reporting. State and UTs may constitute multiple survey teams per ULB. We'll see an example of Chandigarh later. So we prefer, as per the standard operating procedure, that a team should generally be of 1 permanent staff member, so equivalent to Patwari Talati from the State Revenue Department, 1 permanent staff member equivalent to Patwari Inspector from the State Urban Development Department, 1 surveyor whom we can hire also for ETS survey, 1 helper to assist the surveyor during field operations, 1 vehicle wheel driver for field mobility, 1 rower for high precision positioning and parcel demarcation. So this should be the field team for any urban local body for the NAKSHA survey. Public meetings in NAKSHA, public awareness and stakeholder consultations are very important, which should involve the landholders, government officials, urban planners and citizens, and to ensure transparency, legal compliance and community participations. There should always be an advanced publicity through newspapers and community notice board, etc., with the affected stakeholders as to what is going to take place in this area. Meeting of stakeholders, meeting notification should be there for the meeting. Presentation by state level officers to give a clarity about the project and also to explain to them in their language the survey methodology, because there is a lot of misinformation campaign that goes on. As sir had rightly stated that never will all the points match. There always will be a dispute about the area, about the dimensions. So there is a resistance among the people. They need to be told as how beneficial it is if they participate in this. The landholders should be requested to clear property boundaries and place survey marks prior to arrival of the survey teams. State level officers shall address queries, objections and concerns raised during the meeting. Documentation should be there, the minutes, issues raised and responses provided and suggestions received, and if possible, they should also be communicated to the state PMU. And state PMU, if any policy changes are required or any tinkering with the existing administrative framework is required or technical framework is required. Now, these are the best feedbacks which can be maintained right from the horse's mouth and right from the field. Officers shall ensure the survey process is in conformity with the applicable state and duty laws and policies. Now, in Himachal Pradesh, the Himachal Pradesh Land Revenue Act already had a provision of such a survey, but Chandigarh did not have it. So Chandigarh had to frame its own law, and Himachal Pradesh did it with its own law, which was already there, and they just needed to give an advisory to the field units. So they should be in conformity with the state and duty laws. State revenue departments should organize special mutation camps to facilitate alignment of possession status with ownership records in a clear and undisputed cases. This is the most important, that record of rights is updated before the survey is done. All the ownership transfers, partitions, divisions, amalgamations, any changes impacting property tax liability, that should be incorporated in the record of rights. Adequate publicity should be there, specifying the date and venue, procedure to be followed, documents to be produced. During the intervening period prior to commencement of field surveys, UTs or states may invite online or physical application claims for updation of records and dispose of in time-bound manner. All claims and objections shall be examined and disposed of by competent survey revenue authority in accordance with applicable rules. So, in Himachal Pradesh, they have authorized the Tahsildars to examine and dispose of these claims and objections because it's a small state and very less population. Help desks and helplines should be established at the SPM, because these helplines would not only be required by any query but also by our own officers who are working in the field. Title examination by field surveys shall be critical step under NAKSHA. Only those documents with clear and legally valid title should be issued. An urban property card. The state UT government shall notify the list of acceptable title documents which may be different from different states and which may include record of rights along with a cadastral map. So in Punjab, Haryana, the record of rights are called Jamabandi. Registered sale deed, lease deed executed by the competent government land owning authority, gift deed, relinquishment deed, settlement deed, allotment letter issued by the competent authority. Now, almost 50% of the Chandigarh, it is on lease. So in case of Chandigarh, it should have a valid lease deed, because only then we'll come to know about the legality and clarity of the title. States and UTs may issue specific guidelines regarding competent authority to decide claims.
Sir, there is a
Any problem? Are we connected? Sir, can you hear me over there at Mahatma Mandir?
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Sir, there was a technical issue and now you are visible as well as audible. You can continue, sir.
Okay, can you tell me what we have lost in between? Should I start from this slide? Can you see the slide?
Yes, sir. Sir, we were on documents prescribed in NAKSHA. That slide was completed. We can start with this slide, sir. Yes, sir, this was done.
Okay. So guidelines formulated by states for urban surveys. So there can be state-specific guidelines and SOPs. I'll just show you Himachal ones as we move forward. These guidelines provide operational clarity on key aspects, that is survey methodology and use of modern technologies, field procedures for parcel demarcation and ground truthing, documentation, validation, updation of ownership records. State guidelines also outline institutional roles and responsibilities of Revenue Department, ULBs and survey teams, provisions related to public consultations, claims and objections, mutations and grievance redressals are incorporated to ensure transparency and legal compliance. Guidelines are aligned with state land revenue laws, municipal acts and local rules. The best practices serve as reference model for other states and UTs while formulating and refining their own urban survey framework. So that's why we are meeting, so that we discuss each other's best practices also. There are certain good practices. For example, Andhra Pradesh SOP for urban resurvey prescribes standardized forms covering all stages of urban survey process from initiation to finalization. It provides for use of uniform forms, enabling efficient scaling up of surveys across the state to ensure operational consistency and to enhance transparency and convenience for both officials and citizens. Specific forms are designed for ground truthing, receipt and resolution of boundary-related objections, verifications of claims and correction of discrepancies. Different forms are prescribed for distinct stages of survey and appeal process, ensuring clarity of roles and traceability of decisions. These forms function as official records for dispute resolution and provide a legally defensible audit trail. Other states and UTs may adopt similar standardized formats. So in Himachal Pradesh, to give an example, they have declared the Urban Development Department as the nodal department for this project. And the Director of Land Records is the nodal officer for this project. A state project management unit has been set up at the 𝗬𝗏𝗃 Geoinformatics and Space Application Center, AGSAC. That has been declared a PMO. It's a Government of Himachal Pradesh agency, which has been made the PMU. It already had a lot of information because it used to implement various state programs, right from NREGA, it used to be a PMU. Then for the Backward Regions Grant Fund, the erstwhile fund, it used to be a PMU. For the Watershed Program, it continued to be PMU. So all the people, about 50 odd of them who were employed there for this state, they had long experience of dealing with geoinformatics and other issues. And hence the state government decided to take their services into account while implementing the NAKSHA project. Himachal Pradesh has made a state-level steering committee with Chief Secretary Sir as the chairperson, with the additional Chief Secretary Revenue, the Principal Secretary of the Urban Development Department, the Principal Secretary Finance, Planning, the Director and Secretary of the Information Technology Department, the Director of Land Records, and Director Urban Development as its member. It's quite comprehensive because it is covering all the departments which will be touching the implementation of this scheme. And then there's also another committee which Himachal Pradesh has made, that is the Coordination Committee at the state level, where Director Land Records is the chairperson, because Director Land Records had already done the rural scheme and they had a lot of experience about it. The additional Director of Land Records, the Settlement Officer Shimla. So Himachal Pradesh does a settlement, that is recreation, fresh creation of record of rights every 30 years. They have been following the British model. And the officer and the office which does it is called the Settlement Office. So the Assistant Settlement Officer, because the Settlement Officer remains busy in his court work. So ASOs of Shimla and Kangra that are the two major divisions of Himachal Pradesh. They have been made its member. So on and so forth. You can see Officer Survey of India and SPUM, PMU member. Even for the urban local bodies, there has been a nodal officer. Settlement officer Shimla will be nodal officer for Municipal Corporation of Solan, a big town in Himachal, and Municipal Corporation Nadoor. Settlement officer Kangra will be nodal officer for the Municipal Corporation Mandi and Municipal Corporation Palampur. These are again the major corporations where this scheme is being implemented. So now coming to Chandigarh. Chandigarh has made, this was there for the previous scheme. So they wanted to continue with this, the similar arrangement. That is the Secretary Revenue, Chandigarh Administration as the chairperson. As you know, Chandigarh is a union territory and it is it comes under the law and command of the Home Ministry, Government of India. The Deputy Commissioner, the Collector as it is called in Chandigarh, the Director of Urban Development, Chief Architect, one particular person because his services were required, Sanjay Kumarji, Colonel Dalbir Singh, Director at the Mahatma Gandhi State Institute of Public Administration, which is the state training institute for Chandigarh. And other experts by name have been nominated because they already had a lot of experience on dealing with this issue. Even they have taken a member from the Madhya Pradesh State Electronic Development Corporation as an expert. This is the ULB Coordination Committee of Chandigarh. So public notices like this, lot of IEC was done by Chandigarh administration. All the conspicuous places, we could see that they have all these big notices, lot of posters, flexes which were installed, lot of jingles on the radio we could see that Chandigarh administration had done. Of course, it's a small area, but yes, they did a lot of IEC and everybody over here is aware now. So as you can see a public notice which says that administration is introducing a NAKSHA program in sectors 2 to 17. Chandigarh is divided into sectors. There are about 50 to 53 sectors in Chandigarh. Each sector is like a small town. It is a self-sufficient unit in its whole level. And there are urban villages in Chandigarh which have been named here. And as the notice says that it informs the people, it will help in better planning, faster delivery, reducing errors, full transparency, supporting future smart cities, no more bulky paperwork, information will be fully digitalized, secure and easily accessible. There is all the more a need for having such a structure in Chandigarh because the Chandigarh courts are full of disputes regarding the land. Because there are no record of rights as they exist in all the rural areas. In Chandigarh, there are municipal registered and there's a office called State Office. So both of them, they maintain the rights and both of the offices, they work independently. Whereas a state office comes directly under the collector, the municipal office is independent and a lot of time it happens that the record of any property is different in one office and it is different in another office. So it leads to lots and lots of dispute and as such, the prices of Chandigarh are skyrocketing that every inch of land is valuable. And for even small square feet of land, there are disputes that reach the high courts and the Supreme Courts. The administrative and legal framework of NAKSHA in Chandigarh, it clearly explains who does what, whose authority is in, using which process and with what legality it has to be done. Chandigarh pilot offers a practical ground level illustration of how this framework works, administrative framework of how the system operates. The Department of Land Resources at national level has been providing them directions and National Program Management Unit monitors its implementation. It is being reviewed and progress is being ensured by mapping of sectors 2 to 17 with the completion target of 31st of January. But I'm sure that they'll require more time because every file of Chandigarh that has to be routed through Ministry of Home Affairs. So this is the role of various agencies in Chandigarh: Survey of India, the NIC, even Madhya Pradesh State Electronic Development Corporation is directly involved, Municipal Corporation of Chandigarh, the district administration. There are 20 field teams which have been working daily, coordinated by the municipal corporation and supervised by the district authorities. There are field level administration teams who conduct house-to-house visits. That is to verify ownership boundaries and property classification. Data is captured digitally and linked to aerial imagery. Out of 7,000 properties, more than 4,500 were mapped and 65% were physically verified. All surveys and survey and records updates are conducted under the UT laws. Administrative actions have a legal backing in Chandigarh. Property boundaries and ownerships are verified as per legally recognized records. Ground truthing and legal verification is done. Citizen participation was ensured in Chandigarh, as I just show you how much IEC was done by them. Claims and objections were heard and mutation procedures were undertaken. Decisions are taken by competent authorities and non-surveyors. So final outcome of Chandigarh pilot: verified spatial and textual data, finalized urban land records and urban property cards. Records become legally liable for property transactions, bank loans, taxations, urban planning. Once completed, citizens will access verified digital property records online. In simple terms, administrative framework: who plans, who surveys, who coordinates, who supervises. Legal framework: why the survey is valid, how disputes are resolved, and why records are legally acceptable. NAKSHA succeeds where strong administration delivers the process and strong law delivers finality. So model format urban property card, you would have already done it in the morning sessions. This is given by the Department of Land Resources. As you can see, it is so detailed that it has the photograph of the building, overview map, location map. So that's all from my side, friends.
On behalf of all the participants, I extend my sincere thanks to Shri Lalit Jain sir for his insightful and well-articulated session, which has greatly enhanced our understanding. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.